Hello, my friends, and I hope you are having a fantastic day. Today is the 4th of July, so happy 4th, and I hope it's going quite well for you. Don't hold any firecrackers or any of that fun stuff, but do absolutely grill a steak, kick back, watch some fireworks, and have a drink of your choice. I wanted to cover, for Independence Day, maybe a little bit of independence. So here we have Lorefolk. A few days ago when I was talking about Rob Kuntz and his feelings towards Wizards of the Coast and what they have done to Dungeons and Dragons, I mentioned that I would like a few new indie RPGs, tabletop RPGs to review. In reaction to that, I had the creator of Lorefolk here message me on Twitter, and I decided to take a look, and honestly, it looks adorable for its own creation. I think it could be very interesting. See here, a fantasy tabletop role-playing game of epic-sized adventures for fairy-sized heroes. Lorefolk is a fantasy tabletop role-playing game in which players take the roles of fairy-sized heroes in an oversized forest realm. It has 6 playable races, challenging adversaries, including mundane creatures made monstrously huge from your hero's perspective, unique weapons, armors, and magic items, special rules for moving, jumping, and falling as tiny adventurers, an easy-to-learn D20-based system, so it is its own based system, a lore-rich world to explore, and lots more. And here you have a few cute little images. The gem blade, sea glass short sword, that's pretty, leaf leather armor, mica hand axe, a mantis club. And here are the playable races, adorably tiny. A kitsu bear the closest resemblance to the winged fairies described in the folktales of the giants living beyond Fea's borders. They have large insectile eyes and antennae like moths, 2 pairs of wings not dissimilar to a dragon's fly sprouting from between their shoulder blades, and a touch of magic coursing through their souls. They get an inherent bonus. A spark of magic animates a kitsu's spirits, granting them a +1 bonus to soul force. Of course, you have elves. They view their civilization as an ideal to which all beings should aspire, an attitude that occasionally comes off as prideful. So we're already seeing at least some difference between races other than appearance. That's always cool. Inherent bonus as especially clever and inquisitive beings. Elves have a +1 bonus to intellect. Here is an ember. Embers are otherworldly beings brought into existence by an ancient entity in times of great need to help correct a dire imbalance in the world. Like a mote of fire birthed from flame, embers exist only briefly by cosmic standards, just long enough to fill their purpose. Kind of a Meeseeks thing, I guess. Their inherent bonus is the enigmatic essence of their otherworldly origins grants embers a +1 bonus to presence. Then you have Jinn. Among the largest and heftiest of Fea's intelligent beings are the Jinn. These robust wanderers stand 2 heads taller than most others, with the strength and fortitude to match. Jinn are patient and affable, with a love of revelry and storytelling. If you prove yourself a friend to these gentle giants, you are a friend for life. To their enemies, on the other hand, Jinn are fearsome indeed. And their inherent bonus, their large size, in addition to their strength and toughness, grant a Jinn a +1 bonus to physique. Misk, it's like a little mousey. Misk are daring, agile, elfinoid rodents with an insatiable lust for exotic treasure and forgotten lore. The more dangerous the locale, the more likely these fur-covered pilferers are to venture into it in search of rare finds. Besides their love of forbidden treasure, Misk crave the fame earned by their daring do. And their inherent ability is they're naturally agile, endowing them with a +1 bonus to agility. And finally, you have Neptun, which are obviously cute little lizards. Neptun are amphibious, newt-like elfinoid beings residing next to the rivers and creeks of Fea. They are characterized by thin frames, skin of vibrant green, red, or orange, and webbed fingers and toes. Neptun are known to be patient and contemplative, with a deep reverence for the forest realm of Fea and the ancient entity who created it. Neptun are in tune with their surroundings, granting them a +1 bonus to intuition. And here you have a very nice looking map of the various areas. It's very cool. and descriptions of various areas. So first you have Greenhaven. Greenhaven is the heartland of Faya and home to the elves who craft their elaborate dwellings and halls in the branches of the great wood trees interconnected by terraces. Shadow Vale, which is over here, is home to giant humanoid plant beings called the Lakindi, whose self-appointed role is to guard the breach between the veil between Faya and the outside world. Thum is the ancestral homeland of the Jinn, where the forest gives way to dry rocky scrubland and more than a few precious stone deposits. 6 Jinn tribes reside there. Cool. The Emerald Reach, which is down here, is a broadleaf forest bathed in the mystical light of the sun shining through the emerald-colored canopy, and from whence the winged Akitsu hail. Nisa is up here. Unfortunately, they have 2 S's here and only 1 S down there. You might want to look at that. Nisa is primarily dark cedar and evergreen forest. The Misk make their home here in elaborate burrows and tunnels, lavishly decorated with their treasure. Ilum, it's right here down in the depression. Ilum is a somber tract of marshy lowlands crisscrossed by rivers and creeks. It is home to the amphibious Neptune people who revered Faya's ancient and mysterious creator. Then you have the Everrot Boglands, which is down here. The Everrot Boglands is a stagnant tract of swamp and rotting wood where few things of natural origin grow. It is inhabited by the malevolent fiends of the Nether Realm. Then you have the Nether Vale. The Nether Vale is the barrier between Faya and the Nether Realm, a shadowy mirror world where chaos demons reign and no mortal man can survive for long. Leaves me with questions about the free wilds here, if that's just open land for anybody, and also questions about the breach. Let's take a look at the alpha preview here. And so here you have the layout. The artwork is adorable. I do like it. We already have some information on embers being otherworldly beings from a fragment of the primal essence of Natanu. Embers are otherworldly beings created from a fragment of the primal essence of Matanu. They are brought into existence by this ancient entity in times of great need to help correct a dire imbalance in the world. Like a mote of fire birthed from flame, embers exist only briefly by cosmic standards, just long enough to fulfill their purpose. And for the readers of this preview, Matanu is an ancient and mysterious entity from an etheric realm who created the world of Faya. An ember bears a similar appearance to an elf, though with cobalt skin and eyes that glow with the primal essence from which they were formed. An otherworldly aura combined with their distinct appearance imbues these rare beings with an air of mystique, drawing intense curiosity from most who encounter them. Embers emerge as mature elfinoids, endowed with intellect, language, and a simple knowledge of the world they've been born into. Beyond that, however, these nascent beings are largely ignorant of the subtle nuances and complexities of the world, and many are guided by a childlike curiosity thereof. Well, we won't read the whole thing. Let's see something. You've got, they were created for a purpose. Interesting. So here is some characteristics. You embody the essence of your otherworldly origin, thereby adding +1 to your presence. Your walk speed is 6. Apparently they can fly. They have a few different subcultures. Greatheart Emperor. You favor action over word, ready to leap into the fray at a moment's notice to smite your foes and protect your allies. Your sense of worth derives from your bravery in battle and the gallantry you strive to maintain in all situations. You are an ember, after all, a beacon of hope in a world facing darkness. A brave heart. The thought of failing your task scares you more than any foe. Therefore, you have a +5 bonus to intuition rolls to resist being terrified. Okay, this is part of the subcultures. So you have the great heart, the bright mind, wayward. And so that's their work in progress. It looks really cool. I will have the link for the site down in the description if you want to check it out yourself. That said, I also wanted to check out Kobold Quest from Ashes to Empire, which is a continuation from previous books, but I'm going to let the creator speak for himself.
Hi, I'm Richard Davis, Eternal DM, and I like kobolds. That probably doesn't come as a surprise if you have backed any of our recent Kickstarters. We always try to have completely unique elements in our supplements, and we are proudly continuing that tradition today with Kobold Quest from Ashes to Empire. This book is a sequel to the one that really first took off, and I want this project to be seen as a very intricate, fun love letter to the hobby and my supporters, be it 5th edition, Pathfinder, OSR, or anything else I translate this to in the future. To preempt the question, no, you don't need to have played Kobold Quest or Out of the Dragon to play this one. Think of it like the original Mass Effect trilogy, or Baldur's Gate 1 to 2. It continues the story, but either campaign can serve as an entry point, and it's in creating that campaign that I'm asking for your help and donations. This campaign features a branching narrative that responds to the decisions your group makes. It's intended to focus on gathering allies to make sure what happens to your last settlement never happens again. But what if your players don't want to play nice? What if, instead of engaging in political intrigue, they mercilessly crush those would-be allies and seize the treasures for themselves? It's an option. Your group is playing as the monsters and building an empire, so apart from the new character options, the choices and role reversals you get from that just give everyone a really unique experience. If that sounds like a lot, I assure you it is. I would not have attempted anything like this as my first Kickstarter. Bit of a personal story. When kickstarting Wolves of Stedwick, I didn't think it would really go anywhere, and despite the literally zero marketing I did for that, I was and continue to be terrible at that. It went so much better than my expectations. My next solo project, the first Kobold Quest, was literally life-changing. The backers on that project, along with the reviews and the word of mouth it received, helped me to realize that these projects I've been doing for the past couple years are something that I can actually use as a way to provide for my family. You are the reason that I'm here today, and you are the reason that I pour so much of myself into these projects. With that, thank you, and please consider donating to this project to make it all that it can be.
So when you back this project, you can receive over 40 hours of adventure, new feats, spells, poisons, and traps, a player-driven campaign narrative, and so much more. So then, unlike the other, this appears to be, obviously it says here, Dungeons & Dragons 5e, Pathfinder, and OSR campaign where you play as kobolds. So basically, this is meant as a supplement to your other systems. Has, its own stories, its own loadouts, all that kind of stuff. Pre-made for you so you can go ahead and make your game the best you can without necessarily needing to play by the rules as written. Branching narrative with extreme player freedom and a plethora of optional side content to expand your adventure. Available in 4 systems, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, Pathfinder 2nd edition, Pathfinder 1st edition, and Basic Fantasy or OSR. This campaign is a direct sequel to Kobold Quest Draught of the Dragon. However, playing that is not required to use this campaign to its full potential, as we heard in the video. So that is another option for those of you who might still enjoy the base rules but want something outside of what you've been using to play around with. Now we still have one more option, which is Paddy's Parlor. Paddy's Parlor Games is a tabletop war games and role-playing games writer and publisher. With the help of my wife and the Parlor peeps, we aim to make easily to digest zines that are printer friendly, such that rule books are easy to share with your friends and can always be printed again and again. We're just going to go ahead and look at this one. It's only $5, so that's always helpful. The Agrabah Post is pleased to bring the news. The trusted Chult New, welcome to Chult, the sunniest place of all the planets, dimensions, multiverses, or whatever those out-of-work authors use to justify writing whatever they want. Anyway, compiled here are some of the greatest stories across Skaba, all curated by the real chums you can trust. Skeevers, no scuzz, no fuzz, 101% gonzo action. The Skeeveteer is the inaugural fanzine for Vinegar Satanist Kjalt setting and uses his Crimson Dragon Slayer D20 rules. Inside the first issue, Paddy's Parlor teams up with the Red Room, Lord Mateus, War God Wargaming, and Raymond Herondon to bring you stories, magic items, and one-shot scenarios and loads of Chult-flavored art. This issue, blessed by the High Priest of Corthalsis Publishing himself, is the biggest project put together by the Parlor yet. Letters from Slavery by Raymond Herondon is a small primer about one of the dozens of Chult who has found himself in a precarious situation. Deathslinger by Lord Mateus brings you the most heavy metal hunk of metal to grace Chult's history, how to find it, special abilities gained by his wielder, and promises a legendary legacy for all worthy to carry it into battle. Stalker in the Dark is a collaboration with the Red Room that puts your players into a dark research center wherein the inhabitants have gone quiet. Will your players survive? Beast Taming gives your table optional rules for taming the beasts of Chult to be your mounts or pack animals. Careful, we are not responsible for characters that decompose in the lower intestines of an arachnohound. Joffrey's March is a zany pop culture parody that entices players to look for a powerful MacGuffin that could make them kings or the king's favorite. This section also includes several beasties to throw at your players, as well as new playable race, the Bognuggins. The Parlor would like to say thank you to Sonicus Maximus of Player.net and Jeremy Herden for proofing and editing this work of passion, and many thanks to Venager Satanus for allowing us entrance into his sandbox. You can find Crimson Dragon Slayer here, so that's the rules that this is based off of. An example of play in Chult, along with a follow-up adventure for anyone who survives the Skeeveteer scenarios. We at the Parlor would like to thank you for your interest in our book, as well as the opportunity to provide some new stuff to enhance your tabletop time, perhaps even toilet time. We appreciate any and all reviews and welcome you to print a few extra copies to share with your friends or enemies, perhaps a Zoth-drenched olive branch to your high school bully, or print it and light it on fire as goodwill to the old ones. We assume no liability for your choice to do an arson and would generally advise against it. As an old one, I only advise that under specific circumstances, don't burn anything down. So for those interested in trying a new system, you have Paddy's Parlor and the Chult, which will also be down in the description. All that said, as I hope your 4th of July is fantastic, that you find something new here that you can enjoy, and tell me what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know if you actually decide to pick any of these up. I would love to know, and I'm sure the creators would as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. If you really liked it, you can feel free to share it around, and I will catch you later.